PJ Fleck Show is brought to you by Cup Foods and Affinity Plus.
You have to do it. You got to want to do it right now.
Now, it's the PJ Fleck Show with Pierre Nugent, Ron Johnson, and Justin Gard.
Let's roll.
And welcome in, everybody, to the final PJ Fleck Show of the season. I can't believe I'm saying it myself. Wow. The season has just flown right by. Joined as always by the head coach. Has it flown right by for you? No? Well,
I'm getting emotional now.
For those coaching, I guess the season has been very long. Yeah.
We do that.
We'll do a bowl game show eventually.
We'll check the ratings first, then we'll decide.
It has been a ratings bonanza. Don't make no mistake about it. The head coach of Gopher-football, PJ Fleck. Gopher Hall of Famer Ron Johnson, K-Fans Justin Gard, I am Pierre Nugent. Gophers coming off a hard-fought game, eventually falling short 13-10 against Iowa. Coach, you've had a chance to look back at the film now. It's just felt like a boxing match out there. You guys go blow for blow, fall just a tad short. What stood out for you when you looked at the film of this game?
Well, we talked last week on the radio show, TV show, whoever makes the first catastrophic mistake is probably going to lose the football game. It took all the way till 5 minutes to the end of the fourth quarter for somebody to break, and unfortunately, we put the ball on the ground. And things like that, it's hard to overcome in a match like that. Not only that, we got the ball right back, went right back down the field and had our opportunities. We had plenty of opportunities to get that done. I do it all over again. Every play call, every decision, everybody touching the ball the way they did. We just didn't make enough plays, and it's unfortunate because our kids played so hard, and Iowa's kids played so hard. Somebody had to win that football game, and unfortunately we were 0-1.
Yeah, Mo Ibrahim would have traded all those yards for a win in that game. We know that. But when you talk about the performance he had, set a stadium record, it was almost like he was in a matrix at one point. You know, he was picking holes that nobody was there. He just saw the field, you know, with greatness. Like I've seen some great backs, and he's one of them. What was that performance like, being the coach on the sideline?
It was wonderful to watch. It really was. I mean, his play inspired everybody else to play even harder, and that's what great leaders do. It's what great players do. And he definitely did that. And he was Muhammad. I mean, that was one of his best performances. Unfortunately, you know, again, people talk about the fumble at the end, but we wouldn't have been in the position we were in if it wasn't for Muhammad. And the guys fumbled 4 times in over 800 total carries. That's 0.005%. I would take those statistics any day, and I'd do the exact same thing all over again. And he's one of our best players, one of the best people, one of the greatest players ever to play here. And his last performance in Huntington Bank Stadium backed that up.
And does it make the loss harder? They're all hard. Yeah. But when it's something as unlikely as that, if you would have asked me on that third down, what are the 75 things that are going to happen? Mo Ibrahim fumbling would not have been one of those. And then obviously you have a turnover late. But just with 5 minutes left, it looks like you're going to win. With 2 minutes left, it looks like you're going to win. Does that make it even harder? I know you love reliving it, but does that make it even harder?
No, I mean, it teaches you an awful lot. I mean, it's football. The ball is not round. Both teams are competing incredibly hard. It's just what makes the game so different. There's 11 guys on the field doing everything they can to rip that ball out of your hand. And it's just unfortunate that it happened. As simple as that. Just unfortunate that it happened. And it happened in a critical moment. Like Ron said, I know Muhammad would exchange all those yards for that win. But unfortunately, we weren't able to be 1-0 in the Iowa season. And, you know, the pick really hurt us late. But we had to be able to throw the ball there on 3rd and 7. We were going into the wind, so there wasn't like we were in field goal range just yet. But we got to be able to make that play. And but this is one that's hard to get over. We got over it as we go into Wisconsin, but this is one that stays with you in your heart for a long time that you will remember. But we've moved on, and I know that this won't be what everybody thinks of Muhammad's career. We had every opportunity to win that football game and did.
I know there's still one more game left to play this season, but since we don't speak with you next week, I have to ask you now. How would you evaluate the season, given everything that has happened with your team, when you look at the landscape of the Big Ten West and the opportunity that every team in this division has had to try to win this division? How do you evaluate this season and your team?
It's everything we said it was at the beginning of the year. It's the wild, wild west. Here we are, right, in the last week of the season, and if you take the week before, all 4 teams had a chance to win the division. And everybody felt it's their year to win the division. We're just not the only city that thinks that. And beginning of the year, we're sitting there going, hey, we have a really good football team. So was Purdue, so was Illinois, so was Iowa, so was Wisconsin. They're all saying the same thing. And it proved exactly the way it planned out or played out, that it was going to be anybody's match. It was going to be anybody's league. It was going to be anybody's side of the league. But how hard it was to win it. there's so much parity in the West, especially this year. So it was going to be really hard. There wasn't going to be a team that was going to go 8-1 or 9-0 in the West because the parity was too strong. We had to play our style of football and then stay healthy. And in some critical situations and some critical games, we weren't able to stay healthy. And I think that cost us a few. I think we lost 2 games we probably could have won. And then we got beaten 2 games. So we'd like to be able to win all of them. But when you look back on it, we got everything out of the team that we possibly could. We got a lot of, we did what our team was capable of doing. And then we lost some heartbreakers. And that's part of college football. And sometimes you get lucky enough, then you're on the other side of that. I mean, we win those 2. We're sitting here 9-2. It's a different feeling. But we're that close from that. So I got to look at the journey of how we got here instead of just the result. So I evaluate how we got here, and I couldn't be prouder of our team and their fight and their resolve. And they've really done a great job this year in doing everything they can to set themselves up for being in position to bring the Axe back and then a good bowl game.
Yeah, and you talked about health. I mean, we got to talk about Tanner Morgan's health.
Yep.
Where does he stand right now as far as Wisconsin and then leading into?
Yeah, I mean, he's still under the medical's watch, and we're taking it day by day with him. I mean, he's at practice and doing a great job leading the guys. But we'll see as we keep moving forward. I mean, the health of it, you lose your number 1 receiver early in the season. You lose Muhammad for a game, which is a costly game, and he's one of the best players in the country, and it's hard to rebound from that. Got a freshman quarterback in there. We got some other guys down here and there. So it's one of those things to be able to get to where you want to be. You got to be a little bit lucky. And I never rely on luck, but you just have to be. And you look at stories of people who win divisions and win conferences, it all seems to somehow go their way and it aligns. And that's why it's that special year. We're doing everything we can to put ourselves in that position. And like I said, it's been hard to be able to get over some of those, but I'm really proud of our team and how hard they play and how hard they compete.
Well, moving forward, to put yourself in those positions, I imagine Nathan Kaliak-Manis will be a big part of those conversations the next few years. So what have you seen now that he's gotten some experience? A big 3.5 full game sample size to take a look at. What have you seen from his development?
Well, I think people see a little glimpse into the future. I mean, he's really athletic. He's got a big arm, a live arm. But again, everything he's going through is for the first time. It's inexperience. Some of the things that he went through that we missed on Saturday was just lack of experience. It wasn't lack of ability. It was just lack of experience. And you can't stuff 4 years of experience into 3 games and say, we want you to be this because we know you can be this down the road. That's not how it works. He's a really good athlete, really good player, great leader. He's going to be a really good football player for us. And it's a little bit like a piggy bank right now. You just got to keep depositing in that piggy bank. And the more you keep depositing in that, the more money you're going to have eventually, and the heavier that thing's going to be. And he's going to be a really special player here.
You've had a lot of special defensive players, not just this year, but in years past, guys who have gone on to NFL careers, guys who are going on to XFL careers. Let's not forget that, too.
And Coney Durr.
That's right, Coney Durr, that's right. This year's team, the last 4 games, you guys have only given up 26 points. I mean, that is an incredible number. I know some of the results didn't go your way, but, I mean, this defensive unit this year, PJ, I mean, what more can you really say about the way this group has performed for you guys?
Well, they're go-for-football. I mean, that's what our defense should be able to do. That's the expectation of our defense. We feel like the way we play defense fits within our league in terms of making very complementary football, going back and forth with our offense. Part of the reason why our defense is really good is we play complementary football on offense with that, and they can be on the sideline, they can rest, they can make adjustments, they have time to do that. They're not on the field all the time. Whether we're scoring or not, they're not on the field all the time, and I think that helps. So when you're able to play complementary football, you believe in field position and special teams, you believe in teams going 70, 80 yards to score touchdowns, that's hard to do in today's game. And if you create short fields, it's going to be really difficult on any defense. And I think as a whole, we play really complementary good football. Popular, that's for people to be able to judge and tweet and DM and write about. But we do what we feel that gives us the best chance to win at Minnesota with the roster we have and how our offense, defense, and special teams combine to that, and then what our players are capable of doing. So it's a compliment of all of that. And I'm just proud of Joe Rossi, his entire defensive staff, and our players. And they truly play for each other. They're fun to watch.
And this is the game everybody's been waiting for. Of course, Iowa, Wisconsin, and Minnesota. But for the team itself, too, this is the Axe game. This is an important one. You also have the holidays. When you look at what this means, like this week, it's a lot of stuff going on this week, and then you have to mentally, get out of Thanksgiving mindset, get right back into football mindset. But when you look at Graham Mertz, Braylon Allen, and what that team brings to the field, what are you doing to prepare the players, or what are the players, doing to prepare to go down to
Well,
Wisconsin.
this is a Wisconsin team that's gotten a lot better as the years gone on.
Yeah.
Iowa's gotten a lot better. I think we've gotten better. Everybody's gotten better. And when you're a developmental program, you'd really hope that. And I feel like all teams that were playing towards the end of the year have. Wisconsin, no different. They're starting to get into a rhythm. They spread it out a little bit more than they have in the past. They've got a lot of explosive playmakers at the wide receiver position, not just one. And then they have, a three-headed monster at tailback with Allen leading the way. Graham Mertz is playing a lot better than he did at the beginning of the year. He's more consistent. And their defense, they've got typical Wisconsin defense. They're tough, they're physical, they create takeaways and create short fields.
Yeah, we certainly are looking forward to that matchup this weekend in camp. Randall will talk more about that a little bit later in the show. But coming up next, we have a very special guest joining us on set. A key member, a new face of this offensive line this season, Chuck Fialanga, joining us on set when we come back here on the PJ Fleck Show.
Let's row the boat. You're watching the PJ Fleck Show.
Welcome back to the PJ Fleck Show, everybody. We've substituted one offensive player and a wide receiver, and we've replaced him with an offensive lineman, Chuck Fialanga, joining us here on set. Chuck, you are one of the newer faces on this year's team. You played some of your college ball at Michigan earlier in your career. What led you to coming to the University of Minnesota?
What led me to come to Minnesota is the coach that Coach Fleck and his staff have built here at this amazing university, and just knowing that I wanted to be a part of everything that he has built and stands for.
And what was the process like? There were some guys like John Michael, who's been here since the turn of the century at center, and then, but on your side, Quinn Carroll's a new player that had some other pieces that were new from a year ago. It seemed like you all were able to mesh extremely quickly. So what was the key to all of that?
The key to that was just how, like I said, Coach Fleck has built the bond tight. We're a tight-knit group of guys, and just it was easy for us at the beginning because we all wanted the same thing, and the end goal was to just play for each other, play our hearts out, and push each other to be the best version that we can be.
Now, in my experience speaking with offensive linemen, they like it a lot better when you run block more than you pass block, and you guys have certainly run the ball very effectively this season. What has it been like for you to play in this offense and to block for a guy like Mo, who has just had a heck of a season?
Yeah, no, run game is the best part about being an offensive lineman. Just putting your will on another man and moving him against his will is nothing can be more fun than that. And it just takes all 11 guys to be in unison, counting on each other to really execute their jobs down to the precise detail, so that a running back like Mo, who's an All-American, can do what he does best.
Sure.
Make plays.
Absolutely. And PJ, you get Chuck from Michigan. You've only had him for one season, but what has it been like having him here with the group and watching him progress the way he has throughout the season?
I wish we had him the entire time. What you see is exactly what you get with Chuck. He is. I've never seen Chuck in a bad mood. I've never seen Chuck complain. I've never seen Chuck blame. He takes 100% accountability for who he is and how he acts and how he plays, how he gets better. He's incredibly coachable. You talk about a really fun player to coach. And I've told him that numerous times. He's a breath of fresh air. Here's this big mountain of a man, this big smile. But when he puts his hand in the turf, you don't want to be across from him. And he's incredibly intelligent, a lot of fun to coach, and I'm just glad he's a part of our organization.
Well, what has the offensive line, as you know, we talked about it in Indy, you lost a lot, right? And it was all about the starts that were leaving. You talked about the starts that were coming, but also some fortification from some other schools. So what have you seen from that transformation?
Well, I think just a natural maturation process, and I think when you become a role player at a certain place and then you jump forward, now you're the starter and you're thrown into that role, I think that there's a natural progression. You get better a lot quicker or you don't get better at all, right? It's either for you or not for you. And when Chuck got here, he's one of the hardest workers on our team. And when you watch him just keep working and keep working and keep working, and then it just gets better. And like I said, he's incredibly coachable, so he takes it all in, and you've seen the development from where he was to where he is now. And I always joke with him, I said, if you would have come here earlier and started early, you'd be way better than you are right now. I tell Quinn the same thing. So, but it's that's what the portal's for. And I think Chuck used it exactly for what it was for and what it's intended for. And he's been able to benefit off of that. And now he has an opportunity, hopefully, to be playing on Sundays.
And what's it like playing next to John Michael Schmitz? We learned about him. We know about him. It seems like he's up for every single award. Super nice guy as well until you have to go up against him. So what has it been like playing with a center like that?
Well, I'm just happy he doesn't have to go against me. I'm just kidding. Yeah, it's really fun playing next to him. He pushes us to, play harder than the guy in front of us, and he's just a natural-born leader. And it's what you see is what you get. He's a hard worker. He leads very well, and he just pushes for the best.
And it is rivalry week. You guys have a monster showdown with Wisconsin coming up later this weekend. What is it like for you to now feel like you're a part of this rivalry? What are you looking forward to the most in this matchup? And particularly stepping on the field with the guys one last time for the regular season.
It's going to be exciting to have one last ride with the boys. And, I've had some games against Wisconsin at Michigan, and now here as being a part of the Gophers and playing for Minnesota. I'm very excited to be a part of this old rivalry game, and it's going to be a really good game, physical battle.
How physical was Saturday against Iowa?
Saturday was really physical for both of us, and the O-line, really physical.
Yeah, what's Sunday like after a game like that?
Sunday, coming in and taking care of the aches, and that's about it.
Yeah.
Looking forward to the next day.
Well, we are certainly looking forward to watching you in action against Wisconsin this weekend. Chuck, we appreciate you taking the time. Continue health and success the rest of the way. Appreciate you joining us.
Thank you for having me.
All right, everybody. We'll have more on the other side of the break. More to come here on the PJ Fleck Show when we come back. It is Thanksgiving week. We're going to talk a little Thanksgiving, one of PJ's favorite holidays. We'll discuss that and more on the other side of the break.
Welcome back to the PJ Fleck Show. Let's row the boat.
Winding things down here on the PJ Fleck Show. As we mentioned earlier in the show, it is Thanksgiving week. We were just a couple of days away from Thanksgiving. PJ was telling us off camera how Thanksgiving is one of his favorite holidays of the year. Why is that? Any Thanksgiving traditions? Are we ranking the foods now on your priority list? What does Thanksgiving look like in the Fleck household?
Definitely do that. Well, it's pretty small. We're in season, so it's you're not doing anything extravagant.
Sure.
Right? But Heather's already preparing. She's been preparing since Monday with all the things she makes for probably 3 total people. So we'll make food for about 100, and there'll be 3 of us to eat it. We have 2 turkeys. We fry 1 turkey, which I'm responsible for, and then we smoke 1 turkey, which I'm responsible for. It took a lot for her to actually give me that type of responsibility. I had to earn a lot of trust by doing that.
I heard one has also been ordered that's going to be in the back just in case
she
something goes
definitely
wrong.
always has a backup plan.
Yeah.
In case I screw it up, which I'm not saying I haven't done before. And I'm far away enough from the house where I don't burn the neighborhood down. So, but we'll have some people swing on by. I know some people will come by for some doggy bags, and trust me, we'll make our own little doggy bags, but that 100 pounds of food somehow, some way will be distributed.
Well, the nice thing about the Traeger is it allows everybody to feel like they're a pit boss, right? Like they're, deep, Texas, Oklahoma barbecue, like that you can just smoke like you're an actual
there's
cook.
2 things everybody thinks they can do, right?
Grill and smoke.
Grill and coach football. Those are the 2 things everybody thinks they can do, right? And that's true. It's true.
In one way or another,
I suppose so.
Right.
Yeah, in one way or another, yeah.
Correct.
Absolutely,
I suppose
yes.
so.
Fair enough, yeah.
I don't know if I can. I don't know if I can
coach,
grill. I can coach football though for sure. I'm not sure about the grilling.
How hard could it be?
Coaching football for sure.
But transitioning away from the food to this rivalry week, Wisconsin Badgers, like one of the oldest rivalries ever. I got a chance to hold the axe after winning the game, my last game as a Gopher. And so when you think about the players being able to do that, this year, these seniors, Mo Ibrahim, guys like that, Tanner Morgan, what does this week mean to you and the team?
Well, it means a ton. Remember, these are the guys that when we came here, we hadn't won in 14 straight years. These are the guys that found a way to be able to break that streak, and then have won it 2 of the last 4 years, and found a way to be able to not only catch Wisconsin in terms of what they're doing, but battle it out every single week or every single year during this rivalry week. It means a ton to both programs. They're a really good football program. They got a really good team this year. So do we. This was just one of the great moments and memories. Life comes down to moments and memories, and we're all grateful for those. You're not going to remember scores, but you remember if you had it or not. You'll be reminded because the score is on the axe of what the score was, but whether you had it or not, that's what you'll remember. And our guys have done a great job of bringing that back here to Minneapolis multiple times. And I know both teams want it this year.
In our final couple of minutes, back to turkeys, but not the ones you're going to make, the ones that you'll be giving away tonight with your annual turkey drive. I know you've done it every year that you're here. Cub Foods, I know, has stepped up big time in that effort, but just why is that important for you guys to do every year?
Well, this is the time of serving and giving. It's a time of thankfulness and being grateful. And a lot of times, we say we're grateful, but we're only grateful for the good things we have in our life, and we're not grateful for the things that are hard in our life. And you're either grateful or you're not. And I think this time of year truly pushes home that thankfulness, that gratefulness, that even the hard times, even how hard that game was on Saturday, it's not life and death. But that was really hard. But we need to be grateful, we are as a team, of what that taught us and what we could use for the rest of our lives with that. It's hard to get over. But we need to be thankful, if we are, then just thankful for everything that comes our way, and it's just perspective of what you do with that information. So be grateful for everything that you have out there, people, and whether it's going through the good times now or really hard, be grateful for what it's teaching you, and I know that's hard to do at times.
Well, certainly well said, no doubt about it, and we're certainly grateful for the fun season that we've had. This is the final edition of the PJ Fleck Show this season. Don't worry, we'll be back next season. We still have one more edition of the Gopher pregame show, so don't forget about that on Saturday.
Thanks for reminding me.
Yeah,
in Madison.
Yeah, you'll be in Madison. Yeah, Ron and I will be hanging.
We got to have a bowl game show.
Yeah.
We're going to have more.
We will have a bowl game show as well. PJ, we want to thank you for all season long for coming and joining us here on the PJ Fleck Show. I also want to thank all of our crew that helps make this happen. Nate, John, Pete, Sean, everybody in our control room. There's a lot of hands on deck on this show that make this show happen. We're certainly grateful and thankful for them. And we're certainly thankful for all of you watching all season long right here on the PJ Fleck Show. Don't forget, Minnesota and Wisconsin kicking things off later this Saturday, 2:30 kick at Camp Randall. We'll bring you the Gopher pregame show on Saturday, and we'll see you for the Gophers and the Badgers.
Let's do run it back to the country.